Hello and welcome to the Discover History YouTube channel, and today we're going to answer the question of what was that mystery object. However, before we do that, we just have a request for everyone listening. We are going to be celebrating next week our 100th video on YouTube. So what we'd like to know is, how do you want us to celebrate our 100th video? Would you like some characters here? Would you like to know a little bit more about myself, Helen, or Ian? Or would you like us to do something outrageous on here? Maybe you'd like to see us put on a full suit of armour, for example. It is completely up to you. So do let us know. Remember, this is as much your channel as it is our channel. So going back to today's video, the true topic of our video, we're going to answer the question of what is this mystery object. Now, Helen chose this one, and I think she did very well at choosing this one. We've had a few different comments on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also on here on YouTube. And unfortunately, no one has got the right answer. So Helen did really well at choosing a very, very difficult mystery object this time round. Now, this mystery object is made out of bronze. It's beautifully tooled, shall we say. In other words, they've put a lot of effort in the decoration of the handles. But the important bit, the business end, that's the key thing, will identify what it is. Now, from the side that you're looking at, it looks like a scoop. And at the bottom of the scoop, in other words, at the very, very bottom, I'll turn it around so you can see, is a serrated edge. So it's almost like a spoon, a ladle, a cup with a serrated bottom. And because we have the handles on it, you can open and close them very much like a set of pliers. Now, I did give you a clue because I mentioned medical. And that's exactly what this thing is. It's first described by a medical writer, medical historian, in fact, we'd call them today, going right back into the 1st century. So we're talking about a Roman writer. His name was Cornelius Celsus, and he actually describes this tool, and he actually called it a staphylagra. And a staphylagra is a very important tool which was used for crushing and removing. So it's often referred to as a crusher or removal forceps. Now, this medical instrument was used in quite a horrible way. You have to remember, all medical equipment was used usually without any form of anaesthetic. Even the Romans tried to make anaesthetics. For example, they used things like henbane, for example. They used a lot of plants years ago. The only problem is henbane, very much like some of the later anaesthetics like chloroform and that, were very, very dangerous things. If you overdose someone with henbane, as it's a poison, it will kill them. So generally speaking, these sort of tools, even in the ancient world, was used without any form of anaesthetic. So what are these used for? Well, they're used for a number of different surgical procedures. Very rarely would a surgeon's tool be used for one specific thing. You often have tools being used for numerous different things. So this is usually used on, for example, tumours or growths. In other words, you can, for example, place them around the growth, the base of the growth, the root of the growth, and then you cut with the cutting serrated edge. And because it's a scoop, because it's sort of curved underneath, you can then pull it away without you losing it. It just sits in there and then you can throw it away later on. It was also used for an operation to remove the uvula, which is the bit that dangles down in the back of your throat. Sometimes that can be removed for infection reasons, for example. And what you would do to that is obviously place it right into the back of the throat, and then once again you cut that away at the very back, and then obviously it would need cauterizing and so on. It could also be used for tonsils, so you will place them in the back of the throat, and they're used to snip away at the tonsils at the very back. Most of the operations the Romans were performing, or even the ancient Greeks were performing, we have to remember the Romans took on the techniques from the Greeks, were done with great accuracy. And I think it's absolutely fascinating that these tools don't really change later on in history. They're tools that are really created in the ancient world, and they continue relatively, in some cases, all of them, up to the modern day. So it's used for snipping away and removing things, but usually things in the throat. So it's quite an horrific tool, and you have to remember is even though there was things like henbane, these tools were used usually without anaesthetic. I personally would not even like to try or be even offered any form of operation without an anaesthetic, if you ask me. Now, the reason why they were bronze, because you have to remember the Romans were around in a world where there was iron, is that bronze was seen as a better material, and the main reason for that is the fact it doesn't rust, so it's easily washed in a bowl of water. And remember, they're not sterilizing or anything like that, it's literally washed in a bowl of water, and something made out of bronze is not going to be problematic, it's not going to rust over time. So that is the tool just of there. The one that I'm holding here is a copy of one found at the British Museum. There's also similar ones that are found in other museums, including some that have been found at Pompeii as well. So it's quite an intricate and interesting tool, and the Romans used it for performing these procedures that far back. Roman medicine is very advanced. It's copied from the Greeks, really, and their medicine was also very advanced. They were even performing operations on cancers, like I mentioned, tumours, for example, or growths. They're also performing cataract operations. It's quite an amazing thing, really, when you think about the Romans. Now, we could do a video just on Roman medicine. Maybe you want me to dress as a Roman and be a Roman surgeon, for example, and I can show you the full array of Roman medical equipment that we have, or we can just show you some of the other medical instruments. I know you've already seen a couple of them, including the trepanning drill that was made like a bow with a separate drill attached to it. I remember showing you that in one of the previous videos on trepanning, for example. Now, these videos that we're putting on, remember, are all going on into a playlist now, so you will be able to find, for example, videos on medical history, you will be finding them on military history, even social history. We've decided to keep all the mystery objects together, just like all the children's crafts together. So if you look down the playlist, you will find them all in there. Alternatively, if you just click on videos, you will find every single video. And like I said, we're into our 90th, 91st video now. We're on our countdown for our 100th video. Let us know what you would like to see for that, and stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.